All right. This is called At the End of the World, There's a Pond. I'm going to read a few of the poems here. Ooh, I should time myself just in case. Okay, you're good. Okay, thank you. This is the shortest poem. This is the shortest poem in the book. It's called Good Dog. Good dog is what I say to my Siamese fighting fish when I pet her, because a dog is anything small and good to me. She nibbles my finger, breaks no skin but the water's. This morning I took 2 pills and felt little. Now I feel lots. I love this thing of mine. Her fins are good. Her tail is too. Good dog. This one it's called Best Case Scenario. Scenario. This century ends underwater. The earth inherited by catfish the size of sedans. The highways bloom into rivers, and the roaches sprout gills. Business booms. Water striders stride. The value of fins skyrockets, while the value of legs eats shit. The bones of the poets, still belted to their Camrys, are settled by runaway guppies sprung from home aquariums, which become museums, the way Alcatraz and Angel Island are museums, the way Japanese concentration camps have gift shops, Me Live 4 stars on TripAdvisor. By the end, those borders drown themselves. Tilapia, born and raised in Lake Malawi, drive west to kick it with Tahoe trout and Yangtze River dolphins. Fin to fin, they make circles in a CVS parking lot, gliding like sunken angels through clouds of Lexapro and Opana. Theirs is a legless future. But like the roaches, some of us are still kicking. Everyone who ever wanted to live is dead. The rest of us tread water. Okay. I got a couple of these. They're sonnets, and they're titled novel. They're all called novel, and they're all about writing a novel. Okay. Novel. In a Chinese cafe disguised as a French cafe, I am writing a novel with no white characters. My white friend says it's beautiful. My brown friend says it's a suicide note with an over-reliance on voice, no semblance of plot. There is a mother, a son, a small drug problem. Beta fish are a motif. Like them, the mother and son are born to break each other. They are predators, even when there's nothing left to hunt. The dialogue is sparse because they speak with their eyes. Their eyes look like my eyes, just slightly off, like an image in a pond made foreign by the mouth breaking its surface. Novel. I added white characters. Not for the white reader, but for myself. I just needed the mother and son to feel watched myself as I wrote my way around their lives. 2 fish in a tank being a glass box with a filter. Filtration is crucial. It is possible for fish to drown, though not beta fish, whose labyrinth organs allow them to borrow freely from the sky. You can keep them in bowls, rice paddies, pickle jars. You can watch them tear each other fin from fin without worrying about the water choking them, which is what I wanted, to watch them break each other and know they did it alone. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I want to read a couple that are not in the book that I wrote somewhat recently. This one doesn't have a title yet, but it's about loving your friends. So it's Okay. The heart responds poorly to siege tactics, and yet the trebuchets. I admit I have strong feelings for my friends. They arrest me daily. When the fog machine works, us girls cry with joy. What I mean is, God put us here to giggle and be waylaid. Why spit on that? We are ours, a sweet family militia, a cute mycelial grid. Who needs evidence of fungal cognition? I have Nolan's Paramount Plus password and Noor's car window Garfield. The working title of this poem was Vomit Supreme, which means finding the way in within the way out, feeling with your dumbass heart your dumbass feelings. Okay. Wrote this one like a second, earlier today. Okay. But I've been thinking about it for a minute, so okay. Once upon a time, there was a young man who could not swallow the anger he harbored for his father, who was once himself a young man, unable to swallow the anger he harbored for his own father, who had also been a young man at some point, though there is no photographic evidence of his youth, and neither his son nor grandson can imagine him as anything but a fully formed civil engineer in a suit and tie, a man who worked for the American-backed South Vietnamese government and so was subjected to several years in a re-education camp after the end of the war his son would come to see as the great loss of his own life, despite having been born in the middle of it, and his grandson would come to see as one of few great triumphs over the forces he believed were the reason he could not swallow his anger for his father or for anyone, anything ugly and strong and cruel enough to be proud of it, all the things that make fathers hurt their sons and sons hurt themselves. Okay. We're good? Okay, cool. Thank you. I've been thinking about it though. I heard Edward P. Jones wrote one of his books just in his head on going on bus rides every day. Okay, I wrote this book, on a computer. Let's go. Okay. Okay. This one is called The Black Speech. The Black Speech is the language that was used by Tolkien. He invented this language, but it's the language engraved on the ring, and it's this dark language you're not supposed to speak. And this poem is it's also kind of about having knowing people who have suffered, and then also knowing that people who you care about maybe cause that suffering, whether directly or indirectly. So it's kind of, grappling with that. Okay. The Black Speech. At the bus station in Sukhothai, you see a man with a long snaking poem wrapped around his arm in what looks, until further research, like Elvish. Further research meaning Google, who says, no, my love, that is the Black Speech of Mordor, one of many made-up languages you have yet to learn. And did you know Tolkien once received from a fan a goblet engraved with that very poem? How he used it as an ashtray? Because even in his world of worlds, some tongues are fit only for burning. And when a different war was on, he trained horses to run towards small arms fire, knowing that with enough practice, anything can learn to love the sound of sharp things, making soft things softer, which makes a tattoo rig the best pen for this long snaking poem written between mortar strikes and pastures of barbed wire. But please, don't let my data mine limit you. You too are an engine of remembering. Remember, years before he shot himself, your kung fu instructor gave you a paperback Hobbit, said if you loved rings, you would at least like this one. Remember, he smiled the way a king might smile. He kicked the way a gun might kick. And when he moved to the East Coast, you felt like a car without doors. And when his daughter attended that school, she was 5, then 6. Remember, you who never attended their funerals, you who are 20-something and may never again see a classroom, crownless boy, allow me to spoil one ending for you. 3 days from now, you will round the curve of a mountain road. 90 kgs of metal looping an asphalt barrel. You will seek the definite end of a straight line. You will come to with flies in your mouth and dirt in your eyes. And when you remove your helmet, a moth will fly out. You will mistake your bruises for foreign objects lodged inside you and feel for 10 seconds like a good host. You will think of the days you wanted most to leave but were too ashamed to go. You will feel very far away from the countries you've invented in the sand, in the snow. Remember how some words cannot be chewed down, how your father heard the news and voted for another round. 3 rings for the tongueless kings, the king in the sky, the king under the mountain, the king of bruised stone. There is no language alone that can eulogize the living. All right, one more? No way. Oh, I'll do like two more. Thanks for coming out, everybody. It's nice to see so many new faces and some lovely old ones too. Not that old, for the most part. Okay. Okay, this is called Tattoo. It's another series of sonnets. So I'll read like one or two of these and then I'll close out. Okay. Tattoo. I tattoo Maggie on game day. We attend a school with remarkable defense in a state where hogs outnumber us. Spill your guts means tell all. Leave no depth unplumbed. Spill your guts is what the tattoo said. Okay. Once a bad lake ruined her eye, so she got a fatty wop tattoo and a new eye. Once her dad raced cars. More than once, actually. His job for years was to win. This week, his daughter shelved books, taught children to teach themselves about stars and weird bugs, Formula One, the nature of grief. I don't really feel it, she says. No pain. Her wound grows quietly. How about now, I say? We do this for hours. I ask her to be honest, and she tells me she is. I'm hurting no one. Tattoo. More salt, more fat, more rain. I live for pork stew and 5 or 6 friends with worms for brains, tossing those same $20 back and forth like an unpinned grenade. Happy bird day, we sing. Lucy tells me she misses me more than birds can possibly say. She's at a loss for birds. Even if Dylan loaned her his parrot, she'd be stuck there in her loss, flightless and blue as hell. I was 18 when I wrote her a song called Swell. Power chords, lofted bed, I miss you so much I feel fucked in the head, and so on. There's a solo, my brother drums. When I touch up my bum leg, I hum the thing I made her. I replace the ink with more ink. Okay. Last one. Thank you for coming out. This is At the End of the World, There's a Pond, and this last poem is titled The Living. Okay. We're all committed to some variation on it, the living. It's work. We're workers. You, me, the olive tree doomed in its bed of clay. It's near constant shade. The dog, the newer, better dog, even the earwigs in the pantry, even the earwigs outside, casing the joint. and your uncle's stunted goldfish, and the parakeets nesting in the substation, bumming warmth from the state. And the state, too. Its substitute teachers and secret police. They're doing what your brother's doing, what Noor and Nolan and June are doing. There's no trick to it. It's habit. That song you can't not sing. When I say sit tight, I'll be there in 10. What I'm saying is the ugliest cat in America lives with its perfect kittens. Your father's water lilies, so precious at the right hour, live with stupid, unkillable carp. And when you drive past that tidal wave of kudzu shadowing the off-ramp, living with everything it's choked, cypress, hickory, live oak, can't you imagine the whole city swaddled in green? When we're gone, we'll be gone. I promise you that. For now, we pay our bills. It's work, love. If not for yourself, do it for me. For our dogs, and our birds, and our trees.